Hello and welcome to another episode of the Content Collective's DeRailed Trail Series. This week we are in Bike Park Wales and I go for a ride with Rowan Sorrel, who is one of the creators of Bike Park Wales. We had a really good chat. We talked about basically how the project came together, what he likes about the job, some of the new work they've been doing, how they were affected by coronavirus, that kind of stuff. And then we go down one of the new trails here, this really flowy, fun jump trail called A470. First time I got it right. And then we go down this trail called the Martian, which was absolutely mental. When they say it's an elite level trail in Bike Park Wales, they really mean it. It's not like this is a real advanced trail. It was a complete shock. I ended up kind of sending some pretty gnarly gaps, went down some steep chutes. It was really good fun, and I think you're really going to enjoy watching it. I think this is one of my favorite, certainly, follow cams on the DeRailed Trail series so far. So you're in for a treat. I really hope you enjoy the episode. If you do, please like, comment and subscribe. But let's go now to my chat with Rowan. Hope you enjoy. Sweet. So Rowan, I kind of want to start with what's probably the most obvious question and the biggest question maybe, which is kind of how Bike Park Wales came together and why you wanted to do it, and kind of, you know, both of those, the why and the how of it really. Like,
yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess, I mean, the why was just something that built over time.
Yeah.
You know, I think I first went to Leger in France in like 2000, and at that time we had, you know, nothing over here that was even sort of comparable.
Yeah.
And myself and Martin came together and just felt that there was this opportunity where we could create something in the UK that really followed that model that you saw everywhere else we went around the world to ride. You know,
yeah.
We had proper uplift and gravity fed trails.
Had you been to Whistler as well, but when the sort of idea?
Yeah, I went to Whistler like I think 2006, and we sat down and said, let's try and make this happen in like 2009.
Which must have been, I mean, it must have felt really ambitious as well, like something that was quite almost maybe pie in the sky, like kind of thinking at the time.
Yeah, but I guess there's like the backstory to that is what we'd both been doing previous.
What was that?
So like we met together working on a downhill track in Cwmcarn in South Wales.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like an official build, and that's how me and Martin met. And then we both sort of went slightly separate ways, but keeping in touch with what we were doing. I set up a trail building company in South Wales, and Martin went over to Whistler, so he actually worked in the bike park there, and then he did some like brand management, both in Canada and then back in the UK. So he's working like within marketing and with brands, and in my role, like with the trail building stuff, we were working for, you know, like the Forestry Commission and trail centres and doing lots of sort of like official stuff where we come in, build something, you know, try and do obviously like the best job we could, and then you hand it over.
So you had all the right experience,
and
coming into it.
we just felt like we had the skill sets together to make something happen, and we both wanted to manage a facility, you know, where it's not like you build it and it's done. You build it and that's the very start of the journey.
Totally.
Yeah, and then you just keep evolving it from there.
And so, because I'd imagine, just thinking about it, there's kind of, I mean, a few things I want to talk to you about. One is there seems to be nothing like this, certainly north of the border, or even kind of in England. So like, what were the logistics of making it happen? Like, how difficult was it?
Oh man, how long have you got? Well, I mean, if I said we in 2009 we formed the company.
Yeah.
In 2013 we launched the business. That's when we opened the site.
So it took 4 years.
Yeah, so it took us 4 years, and you know, through that time we had to write pretty much like a full business plan of how this place was going to get off the ground and how it's going to operate. We had to secure the tender for the opportunity, and work with like the landowners to secure the land. That was quite a long process. It took us a year, for example, just to like work out the legals on our lease. Yeah. Then there's planning permission, and obviously like the physical construction, but actually building it was the quickest part. That took us like 7 months.
That's what I would have thought, actually. Yeah. Was it difficult getting the, because I'd imagine for planning you'd need sort of good support from the local community and things?
Yeah, I mean, this location has been amazing. Like, to build it in Merthyr Tydfil, we've had unbelievable support from the local council and the community. You know, the community have never ever had like a complaint. It's only ever been seen as a positive thing,
bringing people into the area,
which is brilliant. You know, it's an heavy industrial area where, you know, mining was the industry years and years ago, and sort of turn it around and then bring in like a healthy activity like mountain biking and tourism I think it's just seen positively by everyone.
Totally, yeah. Do you know much in terms of, we're doing a podcast a few weeks ago with a guy, Dan Scott. Don't know if you come across him, but he set up the Wishaw pump track in this area, kind of similar. It's a fairly sort of post-industrial area, town, just outside of Glasgow, and some of the, you know, statistics on the impact it's had was, you know, just mind-blowing. Do you know much in terms of what impact Bikepack Wales has had on the local area?
I mean, for sure. Like we've obviously seen the growth on site with the number of people we've employed from the area, which has grown from, I think we had about 18, including ourselves, like when we first opened, and that's grown to like 60.
Wow. Really?
But when you sort of cast the net a bit wider and look at all the local Airbnbs and hotels, the impact's been much greater than like what you just see here, and that's why the council are like so supportive of it, really.
Yeah, it's amazing. We were just chatting before the podcast about, like, in Scotland, the sort of closest thing we've got to this really is the Tweed Valley, but it's such a different model because it's having the same positive impacts on the community and stuff, but it's all built sort of underground. Whereas here it's much more sort of above board. It's a business, people come, they pay to use the trails are maintained, but the impact, I'd imagine, is just as positive, perhaps even more positive.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like you say, they're different models almost, but they're all like ultimately achieving the same thing. You know, you're drawing people into an area and people want exciting places to ride, and they're both delivering it in different ways.
Totally.
At the time when, 2009, it didn't seem like there was, that was the opportunity really, was to prove that it could be done as a commercial model, and like the benefits of that is you can reinvest and grow it.
That is it's a major benefit as well, because like all the trails here are just in pristine condition, whereas the trail centres in Scotland, certainly, where they're reliant on sort of forestry commission, I don't know if it's more sort of state funded and things, and the actual trail centres are not the things bringing the riders to the area. It's all the other trails, whereas here obviously your actual official trails are the ones that are really well maintained and people are coming for.
And that's the gold stamp we've got to kind of try and achieve and maintain. That's why people come. The facilities are important, but down at the centre, but ultimately people come to ride.
Exactly.
And the trails have got to be good when they go in, and they got to be good in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and evolve with the times as well. So our trails have changed a lot from when they're first built to what you'd ride today.
Do you think you've experienced much, like, I'm sort of getting a sense, I know people are saying cycling and mountain biking have grown a lot, not just in the last year with coronavirus, but sort of over the last 5 or 10 years. As like someone managing a bike park, have you seen that kind of first hand, like the growth in mountain biking? Much?
Yeah, hands down. Like, I don't think there's any doubt. the number of children and women that mountain bike is like the most obvious.
Really?
So like when we first opened, it was like the hardcore riders, you know, and that's who was coming. It's just loads of men here, and like now it's much more evenly spread. If you come during the school holidays, it's unbelievable, like the amount of little rippers that come. So that's been like a really obvious thing. And yeah, just a lot of new people to the sport as well. You know, you can usually tell like people who've got less experience, and something we've kind of focused on trying to make sure the trails like accommodate them as well.
Yeah, there's like an access point.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that one of the most, I'd imagine someone, you know, that's like, I'd imagine this is a tremendous amount of work, like to bring it to actual, you know, reality, and it must be pretty satisfying seeing, you know, more women, children riding, and just like more beginners and stuff. Is that one of the more kind of like pleasing parts of the job, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, right across the board, whether it's like new people into the sport or people who you may have known for, you know, 20 years who've been biking, but like if everyone's getting that same kind of sense of enjoyment out of the site, then I feel like we're doing okay. You know, that's what we're aiming for, is smiles on faces at the end of the day.
Totally. That's really cool. How was your initial vision, and maybe your vision still, of like where you want it to be?
Yeah.
Where is Bike Park Wales at the moment in terms of like compared to what your sort of ambition for it is, or like the vision for it is?
Yeah, that's a good question. No, it is, because I think it's really easy for me to say like what we're doing now is our vision, and we always wanted this to be the size it is and to grow, and that is true, but we were pretty conservative at the start. Like, so we didn't know when we set Bike Park Wales up whether you could fill three minibuses with people.
Yeah.
And we genuinely didn't know that, because no one had kind of tested it and proved it. So we were the guinea pigs. I think the vision of what we wanted the riding experience to be has always been there, but the vision of what the business could be, in the sense that we could be running more than 10 minibuses, you know, grow the facilities around it, that was less clear from day one. We always had our eye on like the resort feel. That's always been a goal, is to have like that ski feel, totally, you know, where you have like après after riding, and it feels like all contained is one resort. But we didn't have any idea like how realistic that was at the start. And it's, you know, I guess within the first year we realised, okay, you know, it's popular, we can build on this and we can make it work.
I suppose that's the thing as well, if you know people are coming, and you know you've just built a bunch more trails over the last year, and you know if people are busy, then you know you can grow it further, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the more people that come and ride here and, you know, have a good time, then the more we can do. So yeah, it's just as simple as that. Like, if people are coming, paying that entry fee, we reinvest that into trails, both maintenance, upgrades and new trails.
That's cool. Tell us about then, we're just sort of coming out, hopefully, of the lockdown, second lockdown. Yeah. How has the last year been for Bike Park Wales, and how challenging has it been?
Unbelievably, really. I mean, again, now I'm just so relieved and happy that we're like a week and a half in, and it's been super busy, and we know we've got a future. Yeah. But that wasn't the case in March, April, May. You know, we really didn't know.
It's so uncertain
what was going to happen, and whether we could like effectively manage our cash position to get through it, because we didn't know how long it was going to be for. We didn't know if there'd be any support. So yeah, really stressful, and a lot of work going on behind the scenes, which, you know, is not necessarily visible, as well as the obvious stuff that you see, like the positive stuff like the new trails and the new buildings. So tough, but as a team I think everyone like really came together and like did their bit. So yeah, really pleased with ultimately where we've got to.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think people see it's so easy to reflect on the success of a person or a business or anything, especially after such a crisis as we've just had, but not really think about just how terrifying and challenging it is to not, you know, looking back, obviously you know what happened, but in the moment it's like you've got no idea. It's such
I mean, at the start, like, there was no furlough scheme. We're responsible for, you know, our staff and their livelihoods, and that is a huge pressure and worry. So yeah, like I say, it was scary. Definitely a few long stress days and sleepless nights, but Zoom got us. Basically, we were having constant Zoom meetings, just trying to adapt the strategy. And bit by bit, you know, as the government support came in terms of like the furlough scheme, it just meant, okay, there's a path. And it kind of built from there towards delivering like upgrade projects. So yeah, it's people won't realise what goes on behind the scenes, but there is a hell of a lot.
So what then did you do with, because I'd imagine there was some positives in the sense that you had this time, you know, without customers coming to the site to build these trails that you have.
Once we kind of mapped things out far enough that we understood we could have staff on site paid, and we knew that with some confidence we could like come out the other side, then that actually became an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, we've built trails that would have been difficult to do while we're open, and more than anything we've built the stuff around the visitor centre, which is, as you can imagine, would be like really challenging when the site's full of customers. So
totally. Yeah, you jump in front.
No worries.
What's typical then, we were just chatting about this before we started, like what's a typical day in the life for you here at Bike Park Wales?
For myself?
Yeah,
it's pretty varied, and that's what makes it so interesting, I guess. You know, as a director, you are ultimately responsible for everything that happens here, but below ourselves as the founders, we've got like a solid team who all have their own responsibilities. So it's kind of that overarching view of what is happening in the business and how we want it to progress. And I take a lead on the trail plans, the trail development, looking at what we're going to do next year, what we might do in 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like map out a given day.
Yeah.
But
pretty varied.
Where possible, I like to try and get onto the hill on foot or on bike.
Do you get to ride very much?
It's one of those, I guess, false views that, you know, being here we're probably always on the hill, but the reality is you're always pulled from pillar to post. But whenever we do get out, it's kind of all the better then, because it's not as regularly as a lot of our customers. Yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah,
are quite a lot of the staff riders?
Yeah, definitely. There's a mix, but certainly all the guys who work in the bike shop, in the hire centre, and the trail crew and stuff, like, they're all pretty hardcore riders, and that's good. And we've got some new people who've joined the business just in the last month or two. There's some really good riders in that group, and we always try and encourage people to get out together and get out and ride.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, but that comes with this, just the challenges of fitting it in around the day. But that's the goal, is to try and let the staff have some time up on the hill.
Up on the hill. That's pretty cool. What's your favourite part of the job?
For me, it is the experience people have on the trails, and if they're coming off it with a big grin, that's part one of the job done.
Yeah.
And then when they leave the site, and everyone they've interacted with through that day, who works for Bike Park Wales, has given them a good service, and then they're coming back, they've had a great day, then I think that's the most rewarding thing.
Totally, that sounds great. Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing facility. You mentioned one of your ambitions was to make it a ski centre, and that's exactly what I was saying to Krista at the top of the hill earlier on. Was it's just I mean, we think like the Tweed Valley gets busy sometimes,
Yeah.
but to have so many riders, and also so many more like beginner riders and stuff at the top of a run, looking at a map, it's so like being at a ski centre.
Yeah.
It's pretty unique, I think, in some ways, in that regard. Like how many beginners are here?
Yeah, I think we kind of look at, you know, we've always tried to have that broad brush approach. So we started off with, I would say, like the more hardcore riders, like trail riders and stuff, and then it's just bit by bit each year we've evolved it from there. Whereas, you know, a lot of the other bike parks which we work with and communicate with a lot across Wales, but you know, they've gone for the niche, you know, so they'll be really good at delivering like downhill or they'll have like more of a free ride jump scene, and we try to do like everything reasonably well, you know, and cover all the bases.
Yeah, that new trail is certainly getting the actually, I don't, can you talk about the new trail?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, sorry. The new trail looks mental. You're certainly catering for like some elite riders with those jumps and some of the features on that one.
Yeah, we're like so excited about that, you know, we're riders, you know, that's why we set the place up. So you can't always build what you might want to ride, you know, you ask any trail builder who does it for a living, and that's just the reality, you know. So to get an opportunity now, quite a few years down the line, but like we're actually building stuff that's going to push everyone, you know, totally push us.
Are you involved
really
much with the actual building, or more just sort of the thinking behind what the trail is going to be like? And
yeah, exactly that. I set all the routes, so like all the trails I'll do the planning and set where they go on the hill and find the line, and then work with each trail builder and let them just take that plan and evolve it, you know, so everyone gets to put their stamp on it. And like in the trail that you're just asking about, you know, it's a collaboration with Red Bull, and with Laurie Greenland, but our trail builder working on it is Duncan Ferris, who joined the team about 18 months ago, I think, and he's brought like a really good skill set to us. He's a really good four-cross rider, you know, super skilled rider, and yeah, like for example on that trail, Laurie has a bit of input, but it's Dunk's baby, you know, and he's just developing that.
How does that
design.
Relationship work then between Laurie and like Duncan? Is Laurie sort of testing the stuff and Duncan's building it?
Yeah, but a bit of both. Like, 'cause Dunk rides at a level where he can test everything, but Laurie will come up, have test days, give feedback, give ideas, and then it's down to Dunk to kind of, you know, like work with that and evolve it.
Yeah.
But it's really collaborative.
That's cool. What kind of trails do you find more difficult? It must be kind of hard when you have, you know, like I'd imagine most of the building team and yourself are like really good riders with a lot of experience. Is it hard to put yourself in the shoes of a beginner at all and sort of think about what level they're at or what they would find fun?
Yeah, I mean, that's like something you're always having conversations about and trying to put yourself in that mindset, and also use other people's tests where possible, just so you feel like you're getting like a mix.
Yeah.
I'd say like the trail that's probably been the most challenging to build in the last 5 years is our green, for that very reason, because you're always like the tolerance for gradients so small. You know, you get it slightly wrong and they're charging, and you get it slightly the other way and it's just a dull trail to ride. So that was really challenging. That's
something actually that really stands out as well here, is all the trails, and I might be wrong here as someone obviously a more sort of experienced rider, but like all the trails have good flow and are fun to ride. A lot of trail centres, I feel like they're specialist, more beginner trails don't, you know, they're not as fun to ride, they don't have as much flow.
Yeah, and why shouldn't they be, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's totally the vision, is whether it's like we split trails into tech and flow, but you know, even if it's a hard tech trail, it's still going to have that like flow if you can ride it well.
Absolutely.
So I think that's like kind of the goal, whether it's a green trail or a black trail, tech or flow, it's got to have that flow if you can unlock it.
Exactly, yeah. That's probably why you get so many sort of beginners coming back, because it's like a lot of the trail centres, a lot of big places to ride in the UK are more for, they're fun for us, but either terrifying for a beginner, or they're just like, you know, they're not actually like something that is flowy or fun or fast.
They don't give you that like reward.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, this is us. We're at the top. Cycled up. We're gonna ride. What did we say we're gonna ride?
We'll do
the jump one.
Yeah, we'll do A470. New
All right.
rebuilt jump line.
Sweet. It was a lot of fun earlier on. I'm like getting used to riding jumps again, but
yeah,
I'm ready for it.
Sweet.
Had some warming up. Sweet. Let's do that.
Yeah, sweet. Let's do it. You have plenty of chat while you're there.
Drop in.
Plenty of chat while you're there.
I'll try and get as much chat as possible. So we were riding these earlier on. We've got some jumps, which I kind of just started freaking myself out on. But hopefully today or this afternoon, oh shit, I'll be better. Trying to keep up with Rowan down his own trails that he's built. Shouldn't be too hard because they're all just jumps. Just trying not to look like a novice on it. Bit tight through in the woods here. It changes completely when we come out into the open. I'm getting a bit wild on the turn there. Tried to jump over that route earlier on and it didn't work. Some real nice tight turns here. Oh, we absolutely shredded that. Nice. Okay, coming into the jumps. Yes. Go. Just try not to embarrass myself. Which it's actually kind of easier falling some of that. It's a little bit windy now. See what you're saying about that draft, Christo? So these are the bigger jumps we're coming into now. Rowan's got a lot more faith on the wind than I do. This is the big scary one. That wasn't too bad. A little bit too windy, I think. I wasn't going to go for that. We're going to have to pedal, try and clear these last ones. One dead sailor.
Oh,
yeah. You gotta add at least one. That was fun. That was actually a lot better than the other one. Yeah. Okay, so we just rode A470. Now we're going to ride this steep, natural looking trail called the Martian. I'm going to see if I can keep up with Rowan down it.
Good, have no worries. All good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do
it.
Capture the carnage.
Oh, it is natural, huh? Oh. Oh.
Okay, here's a jump.
Oh my god, this is so much gnarlier than I thought. Oh! Oh my god, that was so much gnarlier. I'm still in shock after that gap. Oh, I thought we were almost at the end. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That gap was that was so much gnarlier than I was expecting.
In my defence.
I'm glad you didn't tell us how gnarly it actually was. Hello and welcome to the outro. Nothing particularly negative to say about Chris today. He was on good behaviour all day, didn't say anything, annoyed anyone, didn't do anything particularly annoying. So that was good, made everyone's day better. I hope you enjoyed that follow cam. I hope you agree, it was a pretty gnarly trail. We're gonna be releasing, this is season 1. It's gonna be released in a few weeks. We've got like 5 in the pipeline over the next month or so. And then we're gonna call that season 1. And then we're gonna be back with another season, probably end of the summer in the autumn. But there's a few really great episodes lined up, which I think you're gonna really enjoy. If you do, please like, comment and subscribe. It really would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, we will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. See you then.